Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry, and here I'm going to be doing one room only. And I was last in this home on January 19. I did an area rug upstairs and a bedroom, and then there's another floor above me as well, which I did hallway and a couple of other bedrooms, and then I did this room, and I believe I did a room around the corner as well too. And here I am again. The reason I'm here is because so soon is because the cat had been using and is continuing to use this room as its toilet. And if you go back to January 19 and you see the video there, you can see the urine stains that I dealt with before. In particular, this area here was really yellow. And as I was talking to the customer when I got here today, she was the reason I'm back is she's so impressed with how everything turned out the last time, and all the urine stains came out and there was no odor because I dealt with it with ClO2. And if you go back in the video, you see that this particular, right along this edge right here, was almost all entirely yellow. There were yellow stains all over the place from the cat urine and upchuck as well. There's some of these are upchucks. But anyway, so here I am again a few months later. Cat is continuing to use this room as his toilet, and that's why I'm back here again so soon. And I'm going to clean it the same way that I cleaned it before, with my machine here that I have put ClO2 in the solution, which is my normal mix of 2 ounces per gallon Nanomax, but I've got about 3,000 parts per million ClO2 now mixed in there to deal with the urine. And 3,000 ppm is the highest concentration that I will ever use. I probably don't need that much really on this case because there is no, I can't smell anything, but because it's cat urine, I generally, when I run into cat urine, typically I'll go to 3,000 ppm. But 2,000 probably would have worked in this case, but I'm just going to be sure. So now I will be applying it wherever I find the urine, when I can see it, as I go over it with the machine. The light will eliminate the urine, even urine that I can't see with the lights that are above, which aren't great. But as I go over the areas where I will be seeing urine, I will definitely be applying much more solution than normal. My intention would be to saturate the carpet fiber into the backing, with making sure that the ClO2 will contact the urine, because if you have enough ClO2 and it contacts the urine, it will break it down to its base elements, and it will no longer have an odor because it will break down the urine molecule, the odor molecule that is, and will also, in almost every case, remove the yellow staining that you end up with on the carpet. So, and this job is proof that this really does work, because I was here a few months ago. There was actually, I think, more urine stains than there is currently now, but it removed them effectively, and they did not return. These are new stains. There was one right there, which I just applied again, heavy. What I did. So we will continue on. I do recall there was a few urine stains right here that are no longer visible. They're just a couple of new ones. Let's go back this way so that I'm moving away from the light source over there. See a little bit better, I think, rather than looking into the light from the glass doors there. Now, when I do a job like this, I will charge you extra to apply this level of ClO2, and I start at $50 additional over the normal charge. And depending on how much there is, I might charge a few $100s more, but that's pretty rare. I really find this, the way I'm doing it right now, is so effective that it doesn't really add much more time, although sometimes it does. I don't always do an actual extraction with my little self-contained extractor, depending on the job. In this case, I won't. I didn't the last time because, well, this carpet, they don't need to use this room, and leaving it sit for hours wet is actually not a bad thing, because as long as the ClO2 is wet, it will continue to have an effect until it dries out and then it evaporates off, reverting back to its basic elements. So, and I would tell the customer that in a situation like this, they can expect a dry time of at least 24 hours if I've gotten it that wet. And they're fine with that, because, you know, this is a room they don't normally use. So that's not going to inconvenience them. If I wanted to and felt that it was necessary, I would bring the little extractor in, although it wouldn't actually remove a lot. It probably would make a little bit of a difference as far as the dry time, but in all the times that I've done it this way without using my extractor, I've never had a callback. So I guess what I'm saying is this works, and it is simple, and you can see. And I know that sometimes guys will clean and then spray on afterwards, but this way I'm actually applying it specifically where I want it to go. Like there was a stain right there that I just went over, so I applied heavier right there, but I don't need to apply the same amount everywhere. This gives me a more of a precise control of where it goes and how much is applied into the carpet. So there's another stain right up above, right up ahead of me. Right there, you can see it. So I got the trigger on now, and it's on full. The valve is on right now, full. Okay, now it's off. More urine just up to the left here, so the trigger is on right now. And it's off. Again, the stain right there. Trigger is on. More staining up on the right against the wall over here, so the valve is on. Applying it good and heavy. Off now. See how much weight here it goes, because I've really applied a lot of solution, and I'm wanting it to get right into the backing of the carpet. That's my goal. Normally you don't want to get the back wet, but in these situations you really need to chase that urine into the backing as much as possible. Now there was another, right along the wall there was about 3 or 4 urine stains, so the valve is on now. Moving slowly. Letting it work its way in there. Now my machine is a center feed, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to now switch it so it's now a shower feed. So it's now going to apply like most people's machines would, which means it's going to be dropping onto the top of the pad driver and then spinning out from the side rather than going into the center. Giving me, I guess you could say I'm applying more of the outer edge right now. Gives me a little more precision and control of where it's going. You can see it's foaming up onto the surface there. Now, I actually noticed that that darn cat had got right in here. This is ClO2 right now at 2,000 parts per million. Everybody guess where that leg is. And again, I saw a little bit over here. So that's 2,000 parts per million in this trigger sprayer, which I carry in the tank all the time. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it all again. So, the last time I did this, as I mentioned, January 19, all these urine stains that were here before came out, and there was no odor present. So all of these urine stains that I'm dealing with now have occurred since then. But again, I will be successful in removing the stains, and I'm not smelling any odor, so which is unusual when it comes to cats, but sometimes that's the case. I guess if I got right down there and stuck my nose in the carpet, I'm sure there'd be a smell there. But it's not present or obvious in the room anyway. So again, I'm just going over the carpet, just taking my time. I had a gallon and a half in here, so I'm down to a little bit less than half a gallon now, it looks like. For a room this size, that's quite a lot of solution to apply. Just letting the machine work, and of course I do have a brush on here, and then what I'm going to be doing is I will be running 2 or 3 Ironman pads on here to draw out the majority of the moisture, the water off the fibers. Carpet fibers, that is. And there's no smell with this product. It actually just sort of smells clean, because there's no fragrance here at all. I'm not smelling the urine at all. If you were to maybe steam clean this carpet, typically what we're smelling right now would be a very strong smell of the urine. But when I apply the ClO2 the way I'm doing this right now, usually there's no smell even of the urine when it gets wet, because the ClO2 knocks down the odor so rapidly. It's really quite amazing how fast it works, usually. And usually what happens if we're doing a situation like this, after you do the job, sometimes you can still see urine staining a little bit, but if you've got enough ClO2 on there, over the next few hours, it will in almost every case completely fade away, because it's continuing to work as long as it's wet. couple of yellowish stains over here. Looks like they're pretty much gone. Now, one of the things I will do typically is when there's really obvious urine staining, I will pre-treat some of the more obvious stains using my Proxy product, which is a Rochester Midland product called Proxy, Proxi. And the reason I typically do that is it will often accelerate the removal of the visible urine, although it's probably in most cases not usually required, but usually that's what I do. And of course, again, I'm going to switch back to my normal setting here. So the brush is working the product in, massaging the fibers, and it reaches down pretty deep into the yarn. This is a fairly plush carpet, and that's one of the reasons why I typically, when I'm applying the CLO2 the way I am here, I will almost always use the brush because it will penetrate a little bit deeper, at least with the bristles. So we're gonna just go along there a little bit. This is the CLO2. I just want to make sure I get a bit more into the corner over there. I did this last time, I remember. And it was quite yellow in this corner last time, and it's gone. Just work that in a little bit. And then there was a little bit over here. Just a little spot there. CLO2 is doing its thing. Okay. Okay, this thing doesn't want to stay closed. Stay already. Okay, so now we're gonna switch over to an Ironman, and we'll do the extraction step. this was a situation where it was really, really obvious and very obviously odoriferous, then I would have used the extractor. But in the cases where it's not all that obvious, this isn't really that bad, I don't think, as far as its visibility of the urine goes. And I couldn't even smell the urine in the room. Then that would be my sort of where I one of the reasons why I decided not to use the extractor on this carpet. I don't think it's always necessary, but it's a judgment call. In some cases, definitely you want to use it, an extractor. Okay. We were talking about pets, and she was saying, I don't know why the cat does this. It's got litter boxes. Actually, I think there's more than one cat in this house. But, you know, the funny thing about cats is they may indeed have a litter box, but when they decide they want to do it wherever they want to do it, they will. It's just the way it works with them, it seems. And dogs can do that too, of course, but I think cats are a little more prone once they get into the habit. It's very hard to break them of it. Okay, this is where I find the most of the solution is right in this corner, which is where I did it the most last time. And we're going to do a flip. And not surprising, there's virtually no actual soil on the pad, which I did expect that would be what I would see. After all, it was clean just a few months ago, and I don't think it's getting used much other than as a bathroom. Yeah. And in this case, because it is, I've gotten it as wet as I have, I will be using my grooming, my carpet roamer to groom the carpet rather than post-vacuuming, because this would be too wet to put the vacuum on. But so far, I am actually not seeing much of the urine visible any longer, which is what I expected to see, was that in most cases the urine, visible urine, will kind of just disappear, because that's what the ClO2 is doing. It oxidizes the urine, and the color that it changes the carpet, the urine color that you see usually fades away within about 15-20 minutes. looking good. I'm not really seeing any urine staining. Maybe just a faint bit. But it's definitely working. Just like last time. I'm only charging minimum charge for this job, which is well, I'll be charging her $175. I probably should have charged the $175 plus $50, but that's okay. I'll just do it this way. That's fine. And it's a repeat customer. Start over here with this pad here. I can still see a little bit of yellow over here. I don't guarantee the discoloration will come out because, well, it actually is considered a permanent stain by the carpet fiber manufacturers anyway, but in most cases I will get it out anyway. But I don't promise something that in some cases it can still be a permanent stain. It's just the way it is with urine. And most people certainly understand that. If you can improve it at least, enough, most people are very happy with that. They're realizing that, the urine on the carpet is a very serious problem. And what I'll do is, when I groom, if I can still see any visible urine staining, I will spray it again with the Proxy, which I've got sitting right over there. Right over there. Okay, I'm going to do a B-side. It's not that wet anymore. And again, virtually nothing onto the pad as far as visible soiling. fine. Okay, we'll get rid of this. And now I'll groom. Just a few little yellowish spots in here. So we'll treat that like that. Okay. Looking good though. I think I see a little bit of yellowing right there. Nice thing with this is you can actually do it with one hand, and the little wheels on it really help to make it pretty easy to move back and forth on the carpet too. Although I normally use my vacuum, I do carry this. I'll bring this in a lot of cases. And when, if I'm doing, well, sometimes I use it, but not too much. Carpet is looking good. It appears that the yellow stains are either 100% gone or almost completely gone. And the epoxy will continue to do its thing, as well as the CO2. And I expect by the time this thing fully dries, all those yellow stains will be completely gone, as well as any lingering odor. I could smell a slight amount of urine when I was over in that corner when I got down there. But Interestingly, I didn't smell anything when I was down over there, so. Anyway, looking good. Hopefully the cats won't be coming down here anymore, but I don't think that'll, I don't think there's much chance of that. If they really want to, they will. Or they'll just go find somewhere else to do this. Okay, look at that, eh? There was a yellow stain over here, which I no longer see. Okay, that's it. I guess I'm done. Back up my machine and head on down the road. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.